there were meetings about us.
Why?
By Trong, and because Trong didn't like it.
What's that game that he played against Little T-Rex where he knocked out like 7 or 8 people in the game?
Yeah.
People just kept getting caught back in by,
I think that we've always played with the idea that we want everyone else to want to play on our team.
if you win a Thursday championship, that's the gold standard. So, I mean, any other night of the week was kind of...
It's like organized crime at the top, and then it's just like, I've been watching The Wire. It's like just shoot 'em ups, gangster, you're going to get injured.
All right, is this camera ready? 3, 2, 1, dodgeball!
Dodgeball.
All right, what's up, everyone, and thank you for joining us, tuning in, and welcome back to 321 Dodgeball Quarantine Edition. My name is James, your temporary host for today, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Alongside with me, I have our usual analysts.
That's
Enzo. Oh, that's
Half right here.
Gino.
All right, perfect. And today's episode, we have 3 very, 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 very special guests from the legendary team known as the Spartans. We have Mr. Matt Kennedy, Mike Kennedy, and Nick Malika. Let's give them a round of applause, guys.
I forgot Debs and Son.
Oh, they're our usual people, and they introduce
Right.
themselves. So before we begin, as mentioned earlier, I said I was the temporary host for today because it's fitting that we not only have 3 special Spartans guests, but we also have the regular 2 Spartans analysts, which is Debs and Sung. And we are going to have Sung lead the interview today as the youngest and newest member of the Spartans.
Yay!
So before we let Sung begin with the questions, there's like 9 of us in here. Let's all do one good old Hootie the Spirit Owl Spartans cheer by saying the Spartans team cheer. So on 3, everyone say murder on 3. All right, guys? 1, 2, 3, murder! All right, Sung, lead the way.
Okay, so a couple of weeks before this recording session, Debs on her Instagram channel and also on the 321 Dodgeball podcast Instagram account, we asked for submission, and we got some submissions from multiple people. So I'm just going to go through some of the questions in the order that makes the most sense. So Jamie Chan, she asked, I guess this one is the most appropriate one. How'd y'all meet?
Nick can tell us.
Elementary school, most of us. Well, myself, Mike, and Matt, and Coop went to elementary school together. Pace used to play on our team too. He went to Tai Montessori Elementary with us too. Yeah.
I met Mike when I was 3. He was left on our doorstep in a paper box.
You're the younger one. I'm supposed to make that joke.
Faster one too, I guess.
Called out.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've known each other our whole lives. Basically.
When did When did the team Spartans start? Because on YouTube channel, the oldest I think Spartans playoffs video that I could find was season 13.
Season 3, I think. 3 or 4. Was it 3? I think it was season 3 when
Season 3
started, yeah.
Coop asked us to play. So Coop was playing in the league, and there was a team called Hate Sauce at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And that team was beating him up a lot, and everyone else. And he was like, oh, I know. He asked Matt and I to play, I think. Or me. No, he asked me, and I was like, I'll get Matt. And then Matt was like, we'll grab Nick. And then we just decided to form a team without Coop. We'd seen Coop play, and at the time, Coop was a machine. He's still very good, but there was a time when Coop was he was better than all of us combined. Like, he would beat us by himself, and so we just felt that if we had him on the team, the league wasn't going to be able to handle that. So we didn't let him play with us for 5-6 years or something. Yeah. So that's how we formed. So we started a team and then didn't invite him on it.
I like that.
and
You
then
got
beat
Warren.
You got Warren.
Warren.
We didn't even play Hate Sauce because they played on Tuesdays, and we didn't want to play Tuesdays. We wanted to play Thursdays.
Oh,
And then and nothing worked for him. He didn't get the team to play against them, and then we beat him on Thursdays for years.
He got ballistics later on, but
Later, yeah.
But I think we got to the semifinals that first playoffs.
with Spartans?
Yeah.
I don't think it was that deep. No, it wasn't.
was
I think it
quarter-
felt like. I think
quarter.
to us, it felt like we went to the semifinals because those were those days when it was like 1 through 32 all
All
playing.
right.
And so you would just have these like super long days with like these long waits, and so I think we like won a couple series where we felt, but I think we probably finished like 7, 8, like something in there.
I
Sorry,
remember it being
is
at
this-
Lord Bing.
Yeah.
Is this back when there was only one tier with like 30 or
Yeah.
like bajillion team going at it?
Yeah. So you're,
Yeah, and we thought, like, we came into the league, we're like, oh, great, this is going to be fun. We're all going to show up. There'll be a bunch of big white guys. We'll just bully everyone. We're going to call ourselves the Spartans. Our cheer's going to be murder. Let's just kick ass. And then we showed up, and we were not doing well.
we went 5 and 10.
We went 5 and 10 our
First
first
night,
night.
and we still thought it was the same thing. Like we thought we were winning games. We're like, yeah, fuck yeah. We're like, yeah. And then
you see me hit that guy in the face.
Yeah.
We're owning this gym.
And then you like check your like stats at the end, like, yo, we got 5 wins today.
And there weren't even good teams back then. We were just really crap. And then we kind of started to like people, and we realized we were jerks, and so we just.
Also, the first time you guys didn't like people.
And when you guys joined back in like season 3, did they have different tiers back then, or was it all just a bunch of people, like all teams, and just one big tier?
No, and that was the
Big
problem because you'd kind of develop these rivalries with certain teams. Like we had what was that?
Royal Family.
No. What was the ones though? The ones Optimus Prime.
Dodgemus.
Dodgemus Prime.
Yeah, Dodgemus Prime. Yeah.
And so you'd kind of like meet these teams, and you'd maybe get to play them, but then you'd have certain nights where you just blow through a team. It's like if you're playing a tier C team now or something, right? Like it was just kind of. And then there's other nights then maybe against another team that would just dominate you. So.
Oh, okay.
But it was, I would say that because of that, you learned how to play. We learned how to play because we got Dodge Revolution beat the hell out of us, and Royal Family Dodgeball beat us up pretty good.
No excuses too.
No excuses beat us up. I would say we had more raw talent than them, but they were way smarter than us.
Like they had more teamwork?
Way more. We still don't have it, but we like learned how. We couldn't figure out why all these people kept beating us because we were like 20.
Well, we weren't catching either.
We didn't know how to catch. We didn't know how to do anything. But we couldn't figure it out. Anyway, that's what I remember. I think it's also why we have a bit of a reputation, because back then no one hates us because we could beat the crap out of teams. I don't think a team starting now could
do that.
Do that because it's a lot more competitive. You can't dominate the same way.
We definitely play on like the same foundations that we like started on. Yeah.
Yes, we haven't changed. So, yeah.
The videos can show
that
too. You guys all had a baseball background, right? That's how like you pretty much got really good with throwing the dodgeball pretty quickly, or what's each of your backgrounds?
Matt and I both played AAA for
I think
we were 18, and then Nick played a lot. You stopped after you were?
I stopped after whatever majors is, like 13.
Yeah, 12, 13, yeah.
And I think Coop the same.
Coop went a little further.
Did he go farther?
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he played AA till he was. I think he played till he was 18. But yeah, what I do remember is I will stand by this. We introduced the curveball to dodgeball. Before us, no one had ever thrown one, and then there were meetings about us.
Why?
By Trong, and because Trong didn't like it because
Oh.
he said we were wrecking the balls. It was bullshit, but that was his excuse because he didn't know what to do about it. But then once he learned how to catch it, then he didn't care about it anymore. That's my memory anyway. But I remember there were meetings of the executive about it, and they were coming there. Do you remember they'd like come watch our games to like?
Yeah, well, I remember at the time with No Excuses, Keith, who was the what are they called? Commissioner? Is it a commissioner? Director? What are they now?
He was a director.
Director?
Yeah.
I remember for his No Excuses jersey, his shirt just said "Matt must die." That was like all it said on the back. I was like probably the peak of my dodgeball. I was like season 7 maybe, but it was all just because of just throwing curveballs at him.
Curveball.
Just didn't deal with it at all. But I think like even the baseball background, I don't think it's. I mean, like you get guys like Billy. Remember Billy, who's like
badminton.
Yeah, just a badminton
Billy.
player, right? And he just had forearms like that were like great.
Abs too.
And so like the dodgeballs, they're not the same, right? Like they're different. And so I think one of the things was like throwing hard. Like Nick throws harder than Mike or I do, but we have more of a baseball background. So I don't know if it was necessarily so much that in the sense of how hard, as much as like like being able to kind of manipulate the ball, I think was like our kind of biggest advantage, because there were still guys that threw like hard, and they might even have like shorter releases than we would, because we'd have a bit of a longer kind of pitching release than some other guys, like even looking guys like Rogan and stuff like that, right? Like the way that those guys create torque and stuff in their throws, people just kind of find their way with a dodgeball. But because they're so big and so light, like for our curveball, like mine started with when I was in like Little League, and you'd like ban curveballs. But I remember like your hand, like your hand was too small for the ball, right? As a kid. And so you could never throw like a proper curveball. And so in order to do that, like the first thing we kind of taught ourselves was like a choke change, which is like kind of like you don't really throw that when you get older. But because it was like the first pitch I learned as a kid, I kind of kept throwing it. And so then when I picked up a dodgeball, like instinctively it was the first way I was going to try to break it, because my hand was too small for the ball. And that was kind of like the adjustment. Like that's why you don't throw it when you're older, because you can throw a circle change as a pitcher. I think like they're kind of, it's not as common, but because it was kind of originally adapted to having small hands, like as a kid, that's just like how I learned or taught myself to throw it. As soon as I picked up a dodgeball, like that was the first way to kind of break the ball with that.
But that sort of like, it was the very first thing we tried to do. You and I.
As soon as you picked up
into
the
the
ball.
gym, as soon as we went into the gym, we went, "Oh, how do you curve this?" This is the very first question we asked ourselves.
Wow.
Figured it out.
And then you taught it to Nick, who just threw it still as hard as he fucking could. And it just kind of was like, it just, you know what I mean? Like,
totally
we're like kind of finesse it. But then it was one of those things that it just kind of became like a staple on our team of like, all right, let's all try to like just learn this and throw our own kind of version of it. And then obviously everyone kind of now makes up their own and kind of adapts to it. But
we compete with each other on our curveball.
Yeah, because mine is totally different from yours. You guys throw it with like almost like holding the ball lightly, whereas I grab it as hard as I can, right? And I just try to drag it down. And so it's like my regular throw and then just pulled down as hard as I can. So
I can't throw yours and I can't throw Matt's, but neither of you can throw mine. We just figured out how to do it our own way.
Nice.
But I think that's why you guys get more success than I do in like consistency, because it's accuracy and like unpredictability, because you guys have way more throws than I do. It's just like, and that's what made you guys so dangerous right off the bat. It's like
Matt's got more than I do though.
Yeah.
I don't like playing catch with Matt.
Yeah, no. The worst thing to do before playoffs is warm up.
Exactly. I only throw Coop now because you throw too hard. It makes me feel bad about myself. And Matt just always tries to fuck me up. He's an asshole. And so it makes me feel bad about myself. And then Deb throws harder than me now, which makes me the only person I warm up with is Coop now.
Warms up with his left arm most of the
Because he does.
So, sorry, when did Coop and Debs join the Spartans?
There's been like probably about 20 people that have played on the Spartans throughout the whole kind of, because we've played every season on Thursday since season 3. We haven't missed a season, but there's definitely been some ragtag teams put together.
Yeah.
Like
Victor, we had random, we had an English exchange student
Oh, yeah.
this season. We had like I'm telling you, man,
We had a girl. There was a year where no one showed up for playoffs except for me and Nick's ex-girlfriend who was on the team, and we needed 2 girls. So I grabbed the receptionist from my office, and she, Australian girl who'd never even. She didn't even have shoes. Like she had like Vans on.
We did well. We had 4 people, and we did really well.
Yeah, you and I we went all the way to we lost to Coop, and then the finals. We lost in the semifinals.
That's awesome.
It was a good playoff.
But then I think so.
Yeah.
We had kind of the first big addition was Vase.
Well, no. Let's answer the question though. Debs,
and then it was Deb, right?
No,
yeah, Debs was the big addition.
Deb, you came before Vase, didn't you?
No, Vase was
No,
there before.
because Vase was when Eric blew his knee out. Eric blew his knee out.
That's right. Yeah.
Vase joined the team, and then a couple seasons after that, Debs joined. So that was what season like?
I blew it. Who was it? Me?
9. I came in season 9.
Season 9, and then Coop was like what? Season 12, maybe 13.
He
played without
came in
Coop
after I left.
Because Rogan joined somewhere in there too.
Was Cooper replaced Mike or Vase?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, Coop.
Logan replaced Vase.
Rogan replaced Vase and Coop replaced Mike. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was when Mike left.
Because I left for 5 years and I came
Yeah,
back.
because we had Vase and Joey for a little bit when Mike was out.
Oh yeah, we had Joey too.
Oh yeah, Joey is really good.
That Joey guy was a monster when I
Joey's
played against you guys.
insane.
Yeah, that guy's a terror.
He looks like he was built like a truck from what I remember.
Yeah,
He could walk onto the court right now and he'd be one of the best players in the league. I
He's a
swear.
big ball of muscle. Fucking that guy.
What happened to him?
Was it his shoulder or?
yeah. He played so many things, and he was always he had a shoulder issue. He had a leg. He broke his leg, I think. He stopped playing with like his other team, and then we've tried to get him out. I still play softball and stuff with him, but we've tried to get him out. But he's a hard guy to nail down.
Yeah.
But he's just one of those. He was just raw talent. You just didn't even tell him what to do. You just kind of let him do his thing, and
Yeah.
Oh, Dad,
hope no one got hurt.
what's that game that he played against Little T-Rex where he knocked out like 7 or 8 people in the game?
Yeah.
People just kept getting caught back in by, the rest of us throwing catches, and Joey was just one after the next.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was really, really, really good. His throw was really hard.
It was strong. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep asking him to sub for us, but he never has a chance to. He's always playing hockey.
Debs is the best GM in the league.
Yeah.
Once she negotiates contracts like it's nobody's business. Keeps our players happy.
Has a sub list.
Yeah.
For every night at dodgeball, there's a sub list.
You guys are watching.
She hasn't given up on us. Hasn't given up on us. Still tries to yell at us, thinking that it's going to change the way we chess.
And then tells us it's too boring when we're playing well and winning.
Yeah, ridiculous. We do well. She gets upset too because then there's less for her to do.
She slaps people.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to fire anybody. I'm just letting you know that.
Well, when I came back, so I left for 5 years, and when I left, there were no tiers. Or no, there was tiers now, but there were 3 tiers just started.
Mhm.
We were just still messing around in top 3. No, I leave for 5 years. I come back. All of a sudden, there's numbers. People have numbers now, 1 through 6. And I'm exposed. Everyone talking to me like I know what they're talking about.
And then he just
There's
nodding
like,
along.
when I was back in my day, we had the box. It was like the catching area.
Catch.
That was the only term that the league had for anything. And then I came back and I was trying to play, and Dad was like, "You're trash. You're trash, and you need to play more." And I had to be on 3 teams the next season so I could learn how to play again. and we won championship that one. So there you go, it worked. Now I'm back down to 1. I'm coasting a little bit.
Yeah, I almost didn't let you back on the team.
Yeah, you're being a pain.
The hell, Debs?
Like, Mike.
I was just gonna show up. I wasn't gonna let you. I wasn't gonna take no for an answer.
I'm just kidding.
When you came back, did you replace the person leaving, or you just joined again?
Broken.
I think I just joined again. No, Rogan. We played with Rogan for a bit. I just joined again.
Oh, you're playing with 6 guys then?
No.
I think so.
We didn't.
I think
have
Coop
Sam
was out. Remember, Coop wasn't.
Oh no.
Oh, Coop was away, right? He was in
Coop was
like
in
Duncan.
Nelson and stuff.
Ratel left.
yet.
Oh.
Is that actually the timing? That's like how it worked? What were you yelling at me for then? Like, placing Ratel? Like,
I
that
think
was hard. Those are not like huge shoes to fill. Why are you yelling at me so much when I came back? I'm totally better than him.
She can probably yell at Coop, so she had to yell at somebody else.
Ridiculous. Anyway. I know my limitations on the court, but it was exacerbated after not playing for 5 years. That was the first season was pretty bad. Stupid out there. Yeah.
The nice thing was nobody had seen Mike in 5 years, so they didn't expect his throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one knew who you were actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all like 12. Yeah.
Next question, son.
Next questions? Well, you guys answered a lot of the questions that were submitted, but let's go with this anonymous guy's question. So this person asked, I'm gonna ask 2 questions because they're kind of related to each other. The way you guys play looks like chaos. Is it organized chaos or just chaos? And this person also asked, have you guys thought of trying to throw together more, or have you tried that and just not been successful?
All right, Trong, listen.
I was gonna say it sounds like Coop submitted that.
No. Tron has his own question.
Yeah, he does.
I think that we've always played with the idea that we want everyone else to want to play on our team. And so I think that there's this idea of like, when we're there, it's like we'll take it serious enough that if you want to take it serious, you can play on our team. But at the same time, like, we're never going to lose the reason that we play, which is just to like whip balls at each other and play dodgeball, you know? So I think that there's like, definitely there's the chaotic part of it, but I think part of the benefit of playing together since season 3 is we just kind of know what each other are doing. So even when Mike comes back, it's like we still know how he wants to play, and then it makes playing on other teams a lot harder. Like for me, I can't play with other people really well at all.
Yeah.
But it means
everyone
that,
thinks I'm better than I am when I play on another team because I'm playing with you guys and I let them down.
But I think there's like this idea that like it makes it easy for Deb, because we always got people that we need someone. It makes it easy to kind of go out and see who wants to play, because I think we just kind of always said like we just want to make sure that we're a team that everyone wants to play with in one way or another. Even if it's just for a season, you're like, all right, this shit's not for me, guys, I'm out. That's cool too. Yeah. But it's like we're not going to kind of lose that for the sake of winning to a degree.
I liked Nick's answer when we were talking about this a while ago. You said it's a kid's game, man, so just play like a kid. I thought that was pretty good.
Absolutely. I mean, dodgeball is fun for like very specific reasons. Like hitting someone with a dodgeball is entertaining. Period. Like, and it's super satisfying. It's like the only game that I know of that you can like physically getting people out in a game like advances you and is how you win the game. So it's like you're trying to take people out, and that's like really entertaining. And like I don't know. I mean, one of those shots where if you hit someone in the chest and like you get your ball back, like it bounces back and it's like right back in your hands. Like I'm not gonna not throw that ball as soon as I got it. I'm gonna fire it again. And like that's fun. You
And
know,
then Des will slap you in the back. It's like, why you throw
yeah, Deb will slap me in the back, and I'll know she's gonna do it, and I'll throw the ball anyway because that's why I come to dodgeball, is to have fun. I'm not gonna come to like not throw the ball.
But that becomes easier too because every one of us at the end will be like, "Fuck, I shouldn't have thrown that ball." We'll all still at least kind of realize and take ownership of it and just move on. Like it's not a,
We're all hardest on ourselves on the team,
except for Deb.
like except for Deb.
Except for Deb.
Although Deb's really hard on herself, actually.
Yeah.
Like the time we won, I didn't do anything except get hit in the face.
That's how we know we're winning, though. That's how, like, when you're not having to do things, that's how we're clicking. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
when you're having to work, that's not supposed to have to work.
To answer your question, is it chaos? Yes. Is it organized? No. But it just kind of somehow works, and it's more fun that way.
So I remember this one time we were playing on a Sex Gods and Enzo last season.
Yeah.
And I remember Yams and Devs were like, all right, guys, we got to throw together. And like, so we play like the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season and we get like 5 wins each week. And we're like, what the fuck? Like we're all like decent. Like we shouldn't be losing to these like ragtag bunch of nobodies. And then I remember one week we're just like, you know what? Fuck working together. Just do you guys. And like the next week we got like 14 wins or something like that. So it's unbelievable. We're like, all right, the trick is to not talk to each other and just throw balls. Is that basically the Spartan mentality?
I mean, it worked for you guys.
We ended up winning too, that team. That was great. But let's be honest, Yams won the whole thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was all yes. It didn't matter.
She won the whole thing.
What was it you said after? It's like, I taught her that.
Yeah, I did. She calls me all the time. Mike, I'm not catching. Okay. Just got to go back to fundamentals. What I taught you.
I think for us, like there's a level of communication we need, but it's like a different thing. It's not so much like, okay, we're all throwing at this person, like 1, 2, 3. It's more so just like yelling so that we're all aware of what the situation is, because we tend to know how to react if we know what the situation is. Problem is when we're not aware of the situation because we're kind of like whatever, got tunnel vision, or we're doing our own thing, or whatever, we're locked in with kind of a showdown with someone that we maybe don't need to be, or whatever, we're stuck being aggressive. It's not like those are the times we get into trouble, when we're just all not aware of the situation. But I find like our communication is more about just like the yelling of just how many balls we have, who's still alive. You know what I mean? Like just wait, you just wait. Like it's more that than kind of the coordination of trying to get people, because once we're all on the same page with where the game's at, we tend to do well, which I think is why we lose late a lot of the times in playoffs, is like we start to kind of get carried away with the rhythm of the game, and then we kind of lose track of where we're at sometimes. But when we're playing really well is when we're just like all yelling, and we're kind of just not necessarily talking to each other, but just all on the same page with where the team's at any given time, which is why we don't say a lot in between games too. Like it's not about,
there is zero strategy conversation goes on in our huddle.
Yeah.
Zero.
It's more just like, yo, talk to each other. Hey, you're playing better.
That's the extent. And that's like a serious conversation. And that happens once every 20 games probably.
You just stand over there.
Yeah. Or get out of my way.
Try to mix it up. Why we mix it up? Fuck it. I don't know. It's different.
Let's do something. We lost 2 in a row. I want a different position. That's the extent of it. We don't talk about who we're playing. We just call them losers and then say we're going to beat them. And
everybody's got a job to do on our team, and everybody knows the job that the other people are doing. So the only communication that we really need is like, I haven't hit the person yet that I needed to. And then it's like, okay, we've got to sort that out in game. But that's the extent of it. It just kind of is like, that guy's still alive, or I missed my shot, you're open.
Mhm.
Now you got to figure that out. But yeah, there's almost, and Mike tries to mix our coordination up almost every week, and it never happens and never works. So we just kind of stuck with what we got.
So to add on to the whole coordination, everything that Spartans doesn't really do, when you guys added Sung onto the team, he's a very team player. Let's strategize and everything. And compared to every one of you Spartans guys who are very like solo gung ho, how has adding Sung onto the Spartans teams either like flourished the team chemistry, or has it like messed things up, or did you guys revolve around him, or how does that work?
I'd say we revolve around Sung now.
How's that feel, Sung?
Good, but
But
not
there's
really.
two. Okay, well,
Go on.
I'm gonna answer first. I would say with Coop, for a while it was Coop.
Yeah.
And the way we did it with Coop is we basically left him to the slaughter. I would say. So the idea was we're gonna leave Coop. We're sacrificing Coop.
Let him trade. Let him trade.
And he was aggressive, and it would just make room for the rest of us. Whereas with Sung, it's a little bit different because he's so slow. Like he slows the game down.
I think it's interesting because I think that when we started, it started with me, right? Like I was kind of the focal point that we were trying to do things around, but I'm not good enough for the player. I don't have the skill set to do that, and I'm more effective not being that person. I think like never the best person on a team, and at that point when we first started, I think I was, and then but the thing with Sung is it's kind of like because Sung plays like just a better style of, I think, kind of what I was like having Sung.
You could never do it, man. You were athletic.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Lumbering around with your wooden legs out there.
Exactly. So having Sung kind of there as like someone that can stay alive, I think is a big thing that we can kind of, and he, like he's saying, he plays in the middle and he doesn't move a lot. Like he's not super chaotic with how he moves. It's very like forward back. And so it allows us to kind of just play the sides. And I think that's kind of where we've evolved to now, especially just because we don't catch anything.
Yeah, he's like super boring, which lets us basically.
Thanks, Mike.
Like he's like Kawhi Leonard, right? It's like he's not the LeBron James.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard.
He's a fun guy.
But also, there's a reason that Sung has been in like how many showdowns in playoffs because all of us have bailed on you. Sorry, Tyson.
Fucking Tyson.
Let's not talk about that showdown. Sung loves that one.
We need someone now. I think the league is at a point, and we're like old enough where the league's at a point where we need like someone that can be a hero. Like you need that kind of hero character now to really like put you over the edge. And I think that's what Sung gave us. So like even with Rogan, like Rogan was good, but I think even with him, like he was getting older too, and we're all getting older, and it just got to this point where we like having someone come in that can kind of take something over when we all just suck. It like helps.
Yeah, Matt like almost threw up that one playoffs after that one game. Remember against Hot Pot? You had to like actually go down on your knees that one time.
I have one duck of playoffs thrown out my tickets, you all know. I have one duck. I save it all season. And I duck once. You look back at those playoff tapes. One duck of playoffs. And I have one jump in my career to come.
That's funny.
And then you sit the next game.
Oh man.
I think Sung garnishes a lot of attention too, right? In the middle. So a lot of people focus on him more. And then it gives the sides a lot more to roam around, do whatever they want.
Yeah, like we're not as much of a one-on-one team anymore. Like we can't all just line up with people, I think, just because people are so good at blocking and stuff now, and there's just like before we could kind of all just like Nick was saying, just like check your man and then just get one person out before you get out kind of thing, and we could all face up against teams. Whereas like now there's just so many good players that just change that, and so yeah, the matchups are just totally different now. So having someone that pulls a lot more attention so that we're not having to face the one-on-ones always makes things, I think, a lot easier for us. And those are the teams that we have a hard time with, are the teams that decide to kind of, and they can play us just like one-to-one. Turbo Time, guys like that just kind of play that similar style. Those are the ones that, now we have to kind of adjust back to that way. It's interesting. Like we've moved away from that style, and we have a hard time adjusting to.
We're gonna have to go psychological with those guys. Like beat up Shane before the playoffs or something. Those guys are good, man. Now they got what's his face on that team too.
They added Stebby now too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
we have
Marquis,
a lot harder time against those Surrey teams because they just play athletic.
Play like how we used to. Yeah, I feel like we've adjusted as we've gotten older, and just things like that, and just to the VDL style. Like it just played well better with VDL in the sense of playoffs. We could get deeper in playoffs and stuff. And then when teams come in playing kind of the way we used to, it's like, oh, this is why like people didn't want to play us in a small team. It isn't fun.
I think one of the best pickups for our team too was Zim for our style of play.
Yeah.
To be able to have
that was Deb's best move.
Yeah.
Good job, GM.
Well, because we need sweepers, right? We can't win if we don't have balls.
She's the best in the league. I mean, like she'll stand at the front line and pull a ball back when someone's like staring her right in the face. Like
no one's hitting her.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one season where Linda replaced Zim. I think it was like season 27, and we weren't getting any of the balls because we were used to playing with Zim where she got all the balls for us.
Yeah.
Then I think up until like 8th week or 7th week, we were getting like 7 wins or lower. Then we had this team talk about, why are we losing? We're not getting the balls because we don't have Zim. Okay, so guys, like we're all responsible for getting our own balls. Then we started getting like 12 wins and 13 wins.
We won it. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I think that's too, is like we don't, we'll part of what with Deb, what makes it really valuable is like finding people. We'll never like tell someone how to play. So never like let's say it's some other, let's say whatever, Zim left the team when we brought some other girl, like we'd never tell her to play like Zim did because it was effective. Like we would try to find someone that would maybe play that style. So it's even like when we had Victor join, who's like awesome, but I think that his style like just wasn't, we're not going to tell him how to play, but I don't necessarily think that his style like matched up with ours in that sense. So I think that like part of our advantage is like, finding people that just play it like Zim. That's just Zim's style. It's just how she
Victor
plays.
is who I replaced. Yeah.
That's why I fired him.
Yeah, you fired him, and then we came back and we lost and then the next season we got the medal. So it took me a season to ramp up and we won
it. To get used to the game plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Victor played drunk or hungover that playoff.
Yeah, he had a
all Mike had to
birthday.
do was show up sober, and he was going to play better.
Yeah.
He still smelled like alcohol.
Oh yeah, wasn't apparently
was
like
so
Coop
bad.
having him on an IV bag or something?
Yeah, the morning of.
Oh man.
I thought it was throughout the whole night because his mom was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
And like Leslie was like, "No, it's Coop. It's okay. He's our friend. He's a paramedic. He'll help us out."
He's here to save Victor.
Fun to play with still, though.
Yeah.
His impression of you, Matt, absolutely kills me. I peed a little the first time I saw it. I laughed so hard. So good. Spot on.
What did he do?
He copies Matt. He knows Matt's throw, and he acts like Matt out there because he did the impersonator team or something.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Imitators.
Imitators. When I saw that, oh man, so funny.
The same anonymous guy. A lot of tier 1 players play multiple nights a week to stay at the top of their games. It seems like most of you guys only play one night. How do you guys stay successful on the most difficult nights?
By only playing one.
By only playing one night.
But I guess it's like it confuses a lot of people because especially right now, a lot of that, player in that weird zone, the cusp of tier 1 between tier 2, like they try to play multiple nights just so they can get more exposure to higher level plays and rack up more experience, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like Thursday arguably being one of the toughest nights, like just seeing you guys play where you guys only play like 1 or 2 nights, I guess like they get curious, like how are you guys like still good even while playing just 1 night per season?
We literally only have 1 night in us. Like it's a real answer. Like I from TOC, I still have cracking going on in my wrist. Like we're older now. We can't. It's just not. We're not fit.
I think it's partly like we're also hungrier too. Like whenever we play,
yeah, right.
Whenever we play on Thursdays, it's like the night out, Yeah, it's like we're kind of just game to always play, So I think that helps a lot, just fuel us in that sense for sure. But
yeah, we played that night with Sam, Enzo. Yeah, we had that team. And like that was a lot of fun. I'm super glad we won, mostly because of the team we beat. I'm really glad we beat those guys. It felt really good because they were better than us, and we took it from them. We stole it from them, and that's really fun when that happened.
Is that Coop, Steve?
No, it was the Sex Gods and Enzo.
Last season.
Last season, that was great. But that doesn't.
Beat, yeah.
What night was that? Monday?
That was Monday, yeah.
Oh fuck, that was my team.
Was that your team? Oh yeah, it was your team. What was your team called again?
We beat you in the finals, and then you guys had beaten the other team that was everyone thought was going to take it.
Yeah, we 3-0'd them in the semis.
Yeah.
Who was that? Coop, Razvan, and Ivan.
No, Coop, Razvan, Vlad.
Oh, Vlad. Sorry. Yeah.
Brandon
Wen, myself.
There's another team.
That's a good team.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about Byron, Kevin Young, JT.
No, he's talking about Stebby's team.
Stebby with the Stebby Decker.
What, K-Chung, right?
Oh,
yeah, the future's now, I think.
They
won
Wednesday.
They won Wednesday.
Yeah, futures now is Wednesdays.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I was just gonna say that felt great, but I would take a Spartan win.
Cool. I see how it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. Same.
Thursday, aside from like TOC, Thursday is the pinnacle of dodgeball. Like, if you win a Thursday championship, that's the gold standard. So, I mean, any other night of the week was kind of just like practice.
I think too. Like, if you're like a player trying to get better, I don't know how much playing 4 nights a week is going to help that so much as just like playing with good players. I think that helps more than anything. Like we never play in a lower tier. Like even when except for Mike, the only player to ever win a tier 6 and tier 1 championship.
Man, let me tell you, that is the best I've ever played. I was gonna disagree with you, Matt. That was my best season ever. And I attribute it to playing in tier 6 with my company team, trying to get them out of tier 6 because I knew they'd be on the same half as the tier 1 guys. I didn't want anyone to see me. Put the 6 and the 1 on the same side, so I was like, we got to at least get high enough so we're in tier 5 for playoffs. Couldn't get them up. I just couldn't do it. It was such a bad team. Well, yes, we ended up winning it.
It was all Bettina. She saved you guys' asses.
Yeah, Bettina was great.
Yeah.
It was Bettina and I and Jason.
Jason,
who's long retired now.
he was my first team that I played on target practice.
Yeah, but I would say that because it's mayhem down there. It's mayhem. It's like organized crime at the top, and then it's just like I've been watching The Wire. It's like just shoot 'em ups. Gangster, you're gonna get injured down there. It's the Wild West in the lower tiers. And I think that's where you learn your fundamentals and stuff, and then you learn your strategy higher up. That's my theory. And for me, being an old fart, I don't need to work on my view game. I got to work on just learning how to catch still and like knowing that there's 6 balls, and so going down low is actually better for me. Just move your body around. That's my theory. I'm waiting. Matt's looking at me like I'm an idiot, so I'm just waiting for him to.
I'm just waiting for you to get better. No, I think I don't know. I think that there's like even for us, we've always played tier 1, and I don't like. I think partly it's just going to be like what you do bring, like Mike's saying, like you have to have some sort of like fundamentals that you develop and things like that. But I think also like sticking with the same team there's like a lot of value in that. Just in the sense.
Look at Enzo nodding. And when you guys won that thing, like when Hot Pot won, you guys all cried and stuff. Like,
He wasn't
in the Hot Pot when they won.
I didn't play.
and then the season that he came back, they went 0-2.
0-2.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's funny. Were you there at least? Like on the sideline?
No.
I did not. I was not in the building.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's awkward.
Same thing happened to me. Spartans won their first medal without me. So.
Like that was even like behind the name too, right? Like just Spartans. We're like something that's just like we're not gonna get tired of. It's not like a joke play on words, just like let's smash a team together for a season. It was like let's just choose something that's kind of intimidating. It's like a franchise name because we're gonna make this the franchise. It's gonna last for 20 seasons. So it's just like Spartans. All right. What's our cheer? Murder. All right. Done. Not changing. And it was like it just kind of from day one, it was just about that. Like we're gonna be serious enough. But we also understand we're still playing dodgeball. So
yeah, Face had a couple other attempted cheers too, but they didn't really go over so well. No. Matt, how many other teams have you played on aside from Spartans?
I don't even know. Ballistics, Olympus, Sex Gods.
Definitely. I forgot you're on that team, man.
Amateurs, yeah.
Olympic team.
You played on that one with Kyle Schmidt. What was that one called?
That Olympic team.
Europe?
Was Europe, Team Europe. Yeah, we're
racist. That
racist night.
That was the worst playoff. I don't know, something like that. I don't know, 7, 8, something. I don't know, but never more than 2 in a
season.
In a season, that's just crazy.
You guys,
we did a family team. Remember, Matt? We did.
Bubblegum Warriors.
Bubblegum Warriors.
Oh, that's when I first met you guys.
Yeah, because we were about even. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like season 6.
Yeah.
Was that with target practice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
we against them. They'd come and film us.
Yeah. We came to film you guys on Thursdays because we knew about you guys. So Spartans, I Love You, I think Royal Family, and DDR. We're all playing one night.
Wow.
One time.
Yeah.
And we went to film you guys.
Yeah.
And then we had like this like close up shot of Matt's grip on the ball. How does he throw his ball? So we like zoomed in on your hand.
What weirdos? You could come ask us, but instead,
like
doorway. Bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
My favorite team from back then, DDR was just like so much fun to play against. And none of the people who listen to this are going to care. So I'll talk about
who's on that team? Maybe we know.
Pete Tang was the
none of them play no more.
Oh, really?
Victoria Moy.
Julia Moy, Raymond,
Rage.
Rage, wow.
Alex Vu.
Yeah, they were, back then you were allowed resetting the ball, and they would just they just were. We just never. We like decided we weren't going to ever reset.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
We had so many medals if we reset one time when you were allowed. But anyway, they would just beat us. They would be like napping in the corner, waiting to finally get a ball with no balls ever. Anyway, but my favorite team back then was Evasive Spheres, which
Jay Chow's team.
Jay Chow,
Jay
yeah, all
Chow's
those
team.
teachers.
They're a bunch of teachers, and they were all like they were the bottom of the top teams, and they would get there because they were smart and they would talk and they would have. And I just liked their gumption. We beat the hell out of them. I liked them. I was always rooting for them.
Was that with Nancy? That team?
I think Nancy was on their team one time.
Yeah, Nancy.
Yeah.
Was on the team.
Because I remember playing them in playoffs or tier 2 when we still had that divider on the far left side, or like it was open. That's what I remember.
Yeah, they kind of close it partially.
Yeah.
You know what's impressive about you guys just playing either just one night or maximum 2 nights per season is that your game style, your gameplay hasn't changed very, very much. And everyone else, as they play 2-3 nights, sometimes 4 nights a season, they've been getting better themselves, but for some reason they still have a hard time playing against you guys. So it shows it's indicative of how well you guys, how much smarter you guys have grown from like when you guys started in season 3 up until now, how everyone's improved blocking, catching, throwing, dodging, whatever. You guys have fundamentally stayed the same. Your catching's a little bit better, but your throwing's still on point. Your dodging's still the same. Your blocking's still on point. Yet you only play 1 night a week, and you don't really, and I'm not saying this as an insult, you don't improve much like in your overall skill. But
their blocking's non-existent. You don't have to
yeah.
the same.
I could block. Well, no.
They just miss you guys.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you guys are still like fucking on top of the game on Thursday nights, the hardest nights, and that's really fucking impressive how you guys can consistently do that every single season without really improving yourselves individually or as a team as a whole, which is fucking crazy.
I think people underestimate just how mental sport. It's like a sport like anything else. So we walk into the gym going, we're the best team here, and we leave no matter what happens going, we're the best team in the gym every night.
Whether it's 5 and 10,
even if it's 5 and 10, yeah, we're still the best team. We're still the best team. It's all mental.
Yeah, I think even when you watch playoffs and stuff too, like there are teams that you just see them within their second series, and you're like, shit, don't want to run into those guys this playoffs. Like you can just kind of see when teams are clicking, and I think it's that same idea, right? Like at the end of the day, like you're still, as best we can, we're still going to try to make you play our game, right? So no matter how good you are playing yours, like there's still an element you're going to have to play of ours. And so just like, yeah, I think that there's that kind of, we're going to still just do that no matter what. And so we're pretty good at playing our style until we find a team that's better at doing it. And that's when we have trouble, right? But
nightmare right now. We got to figure those guys out. I got a question for Debs, actually, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I was listening to your guys' show because I hadn't listened to it before. And when you interviewed the ladies, you had the ladies' night.
Oh yeah.
You had Miriam and the question was, who is your kryptonite? And Yam said me. And you asked her 3 times, Matt. 3 times. Like it took, she was like, oh, you were like, oh, you mean Matt Kennedy? And I want you guys to cut in the clip because it's bullshit. and Yam's like, no, I'm Mike Kennedy. And you're like, oh, like she's known me for literally a decade. I thought that she was wrong. And then you asked again and then again. I want to know why you asked so many times.
Well, because I'm pretty sure that she said Matt one time. A long time ago. She never catches Matt. She never catches Matt except for that
like,
one
so literally
time.
you asked her
she had
3
one
times.
play
She answered 3 times, and you still don't believe
Because people get mixed
like,
up
how do you
between
think that
two.
makes me feel?
People get mixed up between you guys all the time.
Oh my god.
Gino cut in the clip.
It's different from your natural.
Yeah.
You talking about Mike or Matt?
Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's
too much movement.
I know. Mike Kennedy, you said?
Oh, Mike Kennedy.
Yeah, Mike Kennedy, because his ball kind of goes in different directions just before it gets to. It comes, and then all of a sudden, I don't know where it's going. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Matt? You mean
It's
Matt?
ridiculous.
No, Matt.
No, you mean Matt Kennedy. You mean Matt? No, I'm talking about Matt. Yeah. Fuck up yams like every time. Can't believe you.
You
You stand next to me.
You even taught Yams, right?
I taught her everything she knows. So I know all her secrets. She catches with the and then run up the line and all that. Like, I taught her all that. You guys see me do that all the time. I know, right?
How could you, Devs? How could you?
How could you?
Soon Yabs is going to deploy her turn sideways when the ball comes out. Wait, it's coming.
I never taught her that one. I have to hang. That's how we keep beating them. 'Cause I kept that one back.
You held it back.
I just don't like getting hit. It hurts. If I had, man, every time Debs, every time, every one of you face the ball when it's thrown at you, Mike. It's like, it hurts. I don't like it. It hits in my chest. And what if it hits me in the face? It'll hurt. It'll sting.
I like how Devs is silent.